the flag.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Well, this is our regular July 28th, 2026 commissioners meeting. Are there any additions to the agenda?
Mr. Chairman, I do have one that's under the consent agenda, item 2, commissioners warrants. You have a new commissioners warrant pack in front of you dated 7/27. I highlighted in there for you, it's a bill to bomb guards. Daniil changed the department it's going to, or the code from 6302 to 6302 from 6950 for the 1596. So there's no change to the amount of the billings. So just a in-house change for her accounting apparently. And Charlotte is out of bill today, so I've got one personnel item to data practices policy, and there's a request for board action for that, so I'll take care of that. Yeah. That's all I have, Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Sheriff, that minor adjustment, I'll do that. Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Consent agenda, we have minutes from July 14th, the commissioner warrants $199,056.03. Auditors warrants from 7/17 and 7/24. And hospital warrants $440,450.70.
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
I'll second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries.
Yep.
Good morning.
Morning.
Right, first up for me, just some information, we got a call about, I don't know, maybe 2 months ago, saying that that order of riveted pipe that we made however long ago, they hope to have it to us within a year. Kind of a shock. Well, I guess not many people make this anymore, or they're getting out of it or something, is what they're telling us, but a month later it showed up, so I don't know what that was, but. Either way, I just kind of wanted to put you all on notice that we may have to switch from riveted pipe to spiral pipe, just if they don't make it anymore, so. That requires some policy changes, we currently require riveted, but nobody's gonna make it anymore, or maybe if only one person's gonna make it. Switch to spiral, so. Just so you know, when I find out more, I'll let you know, but something may be coming in.
Do you have any data or just intuition as far as the performance of the two compared?
Riveted has historically been better, but they're telling us that they're making spiral differently now. And I've seen one piece that looks a little different, how they do it. See, before the spiral stuff. If you think of like say a tube of like a Grand's biscuits tube or whatever,
Yep.
you know, you kind of hit them and they kind of unwind, that's what they would do. But I guess better now, so.
What about the other company we using? I think that at least 2 companies, what
Yep.
about the other company?
Yeah, so what needs hearing is the ones getting out of it, so we'd be down to one supplier of riveted and they don't know how much of it they're gonna do. So if there's only one supplier too, I'm afraid the price is gonna go way up. But next time we do an order, we'll do some more research and we'll find out, but.
And you probably know, Nick, but you know, with spiral, there's only, on the end, there's only a place to clamp, that you can't clamp them in the middle, you can't go
Correct.
10 feet, you can't.
Yeah.
You know that, but,
Yep, there's,
so there could be some issues.
yep, like on the end, it's like
There's about a foot that's not spiral.
yes, yep. So, we would have to probably, so currently we get 20-foot sticks and we'll cut them in half if we need to. So we'd have to start inventorying 10-foot sticks, I suppose, because you can't really cut these anymore, so.
And for your information, that came from our last engineer, it was about strength,
Sure.
you know, crush strength compared to riveted and spiral, that's why he required I'm sure that's where it started.
You're right, they're really.
That's why he's required.
Well, that makes sense, because you got all those seams with
Well,
the spiral.
longer, so, and if you don't have much cover on it, it can crush.
Would it be worth looking at going all concrete then instead of with the spiral, or is the price just so much higher?
That's-
Expensive.
But the
And
longevity.
then they separate and,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Takes a lot more labor to put them in, I don't know, cost,
Yeah.
I don't know. 3-4 times as
I
much.
mean, I'm not totally against. it.
Right.
I'm just talking what, you know.
But-
Yeah, a lot of people, a lot of counties use spiral.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
And if-
kind of common, but just seeing the good and the bad here, so.
Yeah.
Question, is it 3 or 4 times the cost?
That's just my
Oh,
guess,
concrete?
yeah,
Oh, no, I'd be guessing.
Yeah. I'm
I'm
guessing.
sure it's all easy. Yeah.
I'll do some more research next time we have a board order, but just know that we might have to change our policy.
Right.
Yeah. Which sound. Okay, so no action needed on that, it's just an FYI, so. You know, it might be coming, but. Next up, our county gravel pit land rent is expiring and we need to. Or I would like to set a letting date for that, This last contract is 3 years, we'd like to do that again. So we'd like to open bids on August 25th at 10:30 AM. For crop years 27, 28, 29.
Good motion.
Yep, I'll second.
Any discussion? What was the former amount? Oh, fan.
No. It would have been really logical for me to look that up and bring that back, but I
265 rings a bell with me, but I'm not sure about that either.
think we had some that's over 300 months, didn't we?
I don't remember that, but
We might have at one time.
maybe the first time.
Yeah. But, I don't remember,
Okay.
but historically, we've gotten pretty good numbers, so.
And you normally have a number of bidders for that, don't you?
I think there was 3 or 4 last.
Yeah. Yeah, I would say we probably average 3. You know, sometimes more, sometimes less. Von Eyes have it now. They've gotten a few times, 2 or 3, I think, so. Yep. So,
Okay, any further discussion? Not, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries.
then lastly, the city of Pipestone has, I think, been approved for a flat grant that stands for Federal Lands Access Program. It's to do what I call phase 4 of Indian Lakes Trail System, but here it's being called the Three Maidens Shared Use Trail, so if I accidentally say phase 4, this is what I think. So either way, it kind of connects the loop there, so. In order to proceed with that, we need to enter into this agreement. I believe it's in your packet. This further defines roles and responsibilities. It's the same thing we've been doing with them for years. I just got updated this project. And they also need, as part of the grant, that resolution where we agree to sponsorships.
We sponsor, but we're not fiscally liable, right?
Do we cash flow it?
That's why I should read through the agreement.
Okay, so
But I mean, we're fully covered, they cover.
whatever the grant doesn't cover is up to them.
Yeah, right. And I see you even went into things like snow removal, maintenance and so forth, that's all spelled out. in that.
So that got left in from this last project. It takes us a lot of time if we have to plow all to one way
Right,
of the road. Doug would probably be better to explain that, but
yeah.
I mean, if you,
Don't want to do.
yeah, I'm correct on saying that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we put that in on the last project because otherwise it takes us forever to get out in the country and then school buses can't get around. So that's why the snow removal thing got put in this last one. I left it in there for this project. It's really not gonna affect us at all, it's just a little bit where it starts by our road and connects at the end. So it seems kind of weird that I left it in there, but it's just being a little bit right here. So that's why I left it, but it doesn't really run along our road. It starts at our road and ends at our road.
Mr. Chair, move to approve the flag agreement, the resolution.
Okay, I'll support it. I thought the agreement was very thorough.
Yep, they wrote that up a long time ago, so.
Any other discussion? Not all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries.
All right, well, that's all I have for today. Anybody else have any other questions for me? Oh, I can say update, Road 25 is over. So. Barricades are still out there. I emailed the contractor last week to pick them up. See, that hasn't been done yet, but they had some for that. It's out of the same time, I think, so. So, anyway, it's open.
Very nice.
That's great.
Yep, I've been down it, I like it, hope we get some rain, so the grass grows a little better, but.
On Thursday, maybe.
Well, cross your fingers, I've seen that fizzle out before, so.
Right.
Nick, haven't done on it yet since this opened, what kind of signage, I know that was an issue people were asking about.
Yep.
Did we have to put up?
We added advanced warnings for trail crossing, and we added, the yellows,
For the stops also.
what's that?
You have advance for the stops
Yep.
also on the dirt.
Yeah, we put, stop signs, we changed it towards through traffic on the paved road and stop. on the
Right.
gravel.
Yeah.
We added advance for that as well. We put up lighted stop signs because it was a changing condition that people that have been driving that road for 20, 30 years, whatever, used to being straight through, so we put lighted flashing ones up to help with that. Let's see. I feel like I'm missing something, but. We put the trail signs back up, there's stop signs on the trail and the advanced warnings there never came out, so those are still up.
The ped ramps.
Ped ramps are installed and then, if you look at those, they're gonna look a little odd now. It's, the concrete was installed 1.5 inches too high on both sides
Intentionally.
intentionally.
And you feathered up to.
And then we put cold patch in there, make that taper for now. And that is because in 2 years, when we put the final lift on that road, then it ties in as it should. So if you hear any complaints on that, we put that on our, so. Yeah. And if I end up getting a bunch of calls on it or something, we even talked about maybe making a little sign, putting out there at the ped ramp, so people can read it.
How do you handle the shoulders when you're gonna put another lift on that again?
Well, that shoulder, just like every other road, so. Yeah, I think in South Dakota, they just kind of.
Let it drop.
Yeah, right, but yeah, we don't do that, so. So we'll build that up. Yeah.
Thank you.
You want to go over the camera?
Oh,
Or do you want to wait?
we can wait, but are we gonna talk about that, or?
Well, just if it's. The documentation's there, so yeah, I just will deal with it. Get it done.
This,
Do the outline stuff.
yep, is this in your packet? Seth?
Yes, it is.
Okay, I guess I have to put this together.
Yeah, no, it's in there. It's been pretty comprehensive.
Okay. It was. Let's see.
Have you had any issues that led to this?
Not this coming to mind, so sorry, I didn't put this together, so I'm a little behind the eight ball deal, but, so it would include, you know, we have fuel tanks at all these places, they're controlled on the inside for power, but you know. Suppose somebody can still cut the line, suck something out of the top. Siphon it that way, so it'd have to do with that, or it'd be good for that. If we perhaps want to get a response from someone in a shop, we can maybe turn that on and just. Yeah, or something, but. So these would run off of like Wi-Fi that we would use for the new, payroll system, if that makes sense, so.
Now, looking through the proposal, to me, it makes perfectly good sense, and for an initial cost of $6,500. $50 per site for internet, I think it's a good peace of mind, good security. I hope the employees understand too, that the motivation for this is not to be big brother, but to look after our facility and their health and well-being as well, so I think it's quite a good idea.
We don't have a surveillance department here. Nobody actively watches these cameras. They're for insurance
Right.
purposes and things
Yeah.
like that, and safety.
Yep, it was, work.
They're recorded.
Yeah, but then especially for the fuel pump too, we're seeing that a lot over west right now, with people trying to get fuel all these big tanks and stuff, because of
Okay,
price of
sure.
gas and stuff too, so I'm highly supportive of having coverage with fuel tanks.
okay, yeah, and it's not like it's a super extravagant system,
No.
it's just kind of a,
That they do run all the time. The cameras, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're on.
A lot of times they sense motion and then start recording.
Right.
That's
There's
okay.
But
everything
this made
live.
me think, I think years ago, we had an incident where, I think at the roofing shop, a vehicle hit one of our vehicles or something. This goes back a long ways, but,
Okay.
but I mean, I can see where if you had video footage of
Yeah.
whatever happened, it would certainly strengthen your case.
Yeah.
As far as
Oh,
what
yeah.
happened.
Yeah, it certainly does.
Yeah,
Do we know?
I think that was right, that shot.
Yeah.
Oh, it was a neighbor or something. No, we have full. Oh, is that what you're thinking? No, I was thinking one of them, I think.
No, it's not.
Neighboring.
The
Yeah,
pole's out.
I think a neighboring vehicle or something. Brushed up against something, or it wasn't a big deal, but and some of that stuff turns into a little bigger deal. If there's one involved there.
so,
Sure. Go ahead. No, and when I read this, I kind of was questioning the need for it. There's one person there, we've never had a problem.
mhm,
I guess that's where I'm at on it. I don't see a reason for it, cameras, but.
Camera on the field room, I think would be useful.
Pardon me?
Camera on the field room would be
We've
useful.
never had a problem.
I know, but diesel's getting higher all the time too.
And I feel we don't want to even give the impression that we're finding our employees, that it's for overall, particularly the public or everything else.
Well, they don't get that impression.
But that's why we work very hard to make sure they realize what the intent of this is.
so, like, we put trackers on our trucks a number of years ago,
Yeah.
and then there was some grumbling about that, then nobody watches that.
Yeah.
We had a guy run a stop sign once and hit our truck. Then I had an attorney from an insurance company call, and they were like asking us about if we had any,
Oversight of employees.
yeah, something like that, and it was, I can't get it, like, well, we're just making sure you guys weren't overdriving conditions, it's like. What are you talking about? We had a through road, they were in a stop sign,
Yeah.
but I showed I sent them that footage, and then I never heard back from them, they're going 42 miles an hour on a
Yeah.
gravel road, whatever.
They're gonna look for something.
Yeah, so I mean,
Litigious society, yes.
Video evidence is
Yeah.
very strong nowadays.
so I don't,
That's not on the road. The trucks don't have video.
I understand.
so I never spend any time monitoring them, but it's nice. Use it numerous times, like,
You didn't plow my road.
yes, got numerous complaints, we haven't plowed the road, and then I should send them.
And that's why it started. You can look like, or they went by a half hour ago or.
The one was, I went by hour and a half ago, and they're like, well, then they didn't have their blade down because it's full snow.
You don't know that.
Nobody wants to, I guess, prove that, but.
Do we know, does this equipment have on-site storage as well too? So if the internet goes out, do we still have data there? Any of the outset of?
I don't think it's said, I don't know. Just said the camera, a lot of times it probably have either small server there, well, if they're connected Wi-Fi to a nice, it makes sort of footage here on our servers here, then.
I think it's gonna be served,
Yeah.
stored here.
Yeah.
Okay,
But if there's an interruption in the Wi-Fi, we'll have lapse there, but.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
Don't give us power that
any kind of power surge or anything.
Yeah.
And I was like,
I get a question, yeah, Steve, probably, the internet service, that's, I think you're doing that for the bookkeeping issue with our timesheets, and the internet thing at the shop.
yeah, they'll be getting a laptop type computer or a little desktop, so they can
I
put
got
in
their
their time and hours.
on their phones, their connections in their phones.
Good
And we
option.
talk about that.
I think that's an option as well.
But then why don't they do it on their phone and not have internet service and pay for, $2,400 a year for internet service? At those shops, but one person there is where I'm going.
Yeah.
It just seems like a lot to spend for one person at those shops, when they're gonna do it on their phone probably anyway.
Yeah, they certainly will be able to do Paycom on their phone for their time, and all that too.
But then you don't get the internet service for that.
Not necessarily. Internet would be a backup, if you will, if there was a laptop or something like that, they needed it, or.
Then they do it the next day or
Sure.
that shop.
Yeah.
Cause you don't need the internet to run the camp.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It says there too.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
That's the word. I still feel it's worth the investment, I really do. Back so much, so I'll go ahead and make the motion. I move if we do approve this expenditure to put cameras in the 4 out by the shops, including the $50 per month per shop.
I will support that. Okay, we have much second, any discussion? Questions?
NCID was doing some cameras, I'm sure they,
They're all about documentation, and anything goes on cameras that's just like Nick was talking about. Having cameras is helping us with any liability, that type of thing.
I guess even here, we use the cameras with parking lot incidents.
incidents, so.
We have a video where the dumpster took off across the parking lot in the windstorm and hit one of our employees. So we had documentation on that, so.
Yeah.
We ended up paying $1,000 deductible on it for a car, but it was a super windy day and the thing just took off, so that's fixed now. They've got wheel tracks under the dumpster.
That's good.
That happens. No, that's the name of the game is video. If anything would happen, fire or whatever, we'll check things, you know what's going on too, have the video control, obviously the camera, whatever.
Is there any kind of fire sensors at the buildings?
I don't believe so. There was no alarm system.
Sure.
No,
Anyway, nothing like that.
And that's actually something we could look at into the future if we wanted, because we'll have the internet there, so we can put temperature sensors there, put motion sensors, there's all kinds of possibilities. Because how you hate to have the heat go out in there and lose your plumbing or whatever it is.
Yeah, I mean, I guess if we wanted to, we could.
Get broken into.
I have that at home. Like on my deep freeze.
Sure.
That quick once and ruined everything inside it.
Yeah, that's not part of this. But
No,
but
I guess we could if we wanted to, but.
Any other questions? Not all those in favor? Opposed? Motion carries.
Okay, that's all for me. Let's, any other questions or? All right,
Thank you.
Yep.
Mike? Yes.
Morning.
Right.
I haven't had some here for this, I did all the legwork on the vehicles we're looking at purchasing.
Okay.
So I just thought I'd bring them along, we're looking at, these are on the lot, cities there, Silverado, Eddie Boers for 51,386. And Ice Bar Brookings as a Ram for 51,502, also on the lot. Get it out and run vehicles. We can find, and we don't want 27, they changed everything, so we really don't want one of them yet, so. We should have done this 6 months ago instead of now, but it's not easier probably to.
How many vehicles are you looking at getting?
You,
Okay.
Yeah, we're looking at one Silverado, one Ram pickup. We found that on the lot incentives are a lot better right now than actually buying your fleet pricing. So we were able to find these two that are actually sitting on the lot and ready to go right now. The kicker is that the incentives run out until, of course, the end of the month, so we'd like to do a purchase with so
Trading vehicles.
we're not trading in, but we're gonna sell two down the road. We're gonna keep what we have and so we can get them. It's just cleaner to do it this way, we that what Mike sells them on. We just
Go deals.
go do what we saw, that we were doing it for us, so.
Yeah, we're
So I
starting
give us time then to get things pushed around.
our forfeit vehicles and no deals have actually done pretty good. And I think we have 5 total to get rid of, so.
And I know this is always a question, I am short on what's budgeted, I get 55,000 budgeted. We don't know what the trades are gonna be, they're not gonna be that much to cover the difference. So I am a little short this time, we don't know what yet, but it'll be.
Do you have
1,000.
room in your budget to cover that shortfall out of other categories? Not really, it's gonna
Well,
happen.
I don't know, I mean,
Yeah.
we have to look. We spent way too much this year on repairs, some of the vehicles from sale, just can't get them.
Which vehicle they're gonna get rid of?
We have an Explorer, that we're gonna get rid of, it's a 2016 Explorer, that's kind of been our spare. So we're gonna take, we have an F-150 on the road right now, that is a 2017 F-150, so about 150,000 miles for the squad, we're gonna take that, move that to our spare squad. Sell one of those spare squads. And then we have one of the Ram trucks, that's a 2019 Ram. It's got about 150,000 on it, that one we are going to sell that one. So hopefully, private party sales on it, they're looking like 13,000-ish is where it's worth. So we'll be able to get that when we do sell that this year.
They are 10 years old now, aren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah,
What kind of cost are we looking at to equip these new vehicles?
So we have to go to the vendors to buy that stuff. I mean, put a monetary value to it, if you're looking at 5,000 a piece, it's probably going to be somewhere in that area. We're gonna do the work ourselves, save that labor,
Which is very much.
which just saves about, 8 to 10,000, if we're doing that ourselves, so.
like radio and the cameras and stuff, we can
They're
change,
transferable.
transfer.
Yeah,
It's just the stuff that's
cages
unique
and
to that
stuff.
particular vehicle.
yeah, the bumpers, the cage, the insert that goes inside of them.
Yeah.
With these, we're not going to do the center console like we normally would. We're actually gonna leave the factory one. The center consoles are getting crazy expensive now. And if we keep the factory one, I think it's gonna be more comfortable for the deputy. And the equipment that goes in now, it doesn't require that center console, so we're gonna try to go without it. We're gonna save them 1,000 and do it that way too.
The rebates are substantial, $6,000 from GM.
Yeah.
They don't have a rebate to it, you bet far.
Yeah, the RAM rebate. That actually.
Steve, what about the shortfall or? That we're ready to cover with our surplus?
So we have reserves if necessary. I mean, at the end of the year, the budget, you may have underspent in other areas, overspent in other areas, and we'll see what the net is. So we're okay.
And I guess one of the issues is we do have to check by Friday if we get these incentives, so if that's possible or not.
Think we can float it by then.
Just going, surprise you guys with something all of a sudden.
Right.
Yeah, the RAM rebates to 7,500.
Tell them the check's in the mail, we just float time.
Mr. Chairman, will bill for the vehicle purchases, show something on the Ram 15.
I'll support that.
Any other discussion or questions?
And there are ones that you got underlined are the ones that, you guys have actually voted on.
Yes.
For DeBoer and to Einstar.
And also add into that, please pay that on a Friday auditor's warrant.
Yes, I'll add that.
Thank you.
Oh, that's my sport.
Any other questions? All right, all those in favor?
I have
Opposed? Motion carries. Thanks. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
quick question, for curiosity, but it's all about this your license plates around. Nothing to do with this. I see all these vehicles with these decorative surrounds on. You can't even see what state the plates from. That can't be legal, can
Can't obstruct the plates.
it? Yeah.
So,
Do you ever bother to stop anybody before? I mean, I know it's a petty, but even my goodness, it's so flagrant.
Right.
Some have cover on too, so if you go on toll roads, it doesn't take a picture.
Oh, sure.
Down in Denver, stuff.
They kind of got smoke.
Yeah, the smoke covers, the clear covers.
Yeah.
He's just been Chicago, so he knows.
Oh, yeah. Been to Denver a couple times this summer and I get a bill every time you go there.
All these sneaky people. I'll get you easy fast. That's okay. Hi, Mike.
Hello. Hello, Mike. Hello.
Where do you want to start?
We started the video on third. The top stuff, well, no matter what, it's good.
Page 68.
I told Steve this morning, some of the numbers we just got put in yesterday. The overtime, so yours might look a little different than the final one we have, but they're gonna be close, so.
This would be 251.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah.
I guess we could start with, if you want to fill us in on whatever numbers that we have showing zero.
So salaries, part-time, we have 45 in there. Overtime, 10,000. Holiday pay, 26,000.
How much for holiday again?
26.
26.
We can't see your zeros with.
How about dues and subscriptions? And why is this year so much more than?
Okay, that would be, that was for Guardian, the thing they have to go around and verify their themselves.
Oh, okay,
And
yeah,
that was supposed to be put in professional services.
okay. Was that just a one-time thing or is that?
It's a yearly fee, but it's supposed to be in professional services.
Okay,
That's where it'll be. They got put it in the wrong line there. I had to mark down because I knew that would be the question. So.
okay.
So
So
this,
then-
this last year was our first year, but that's 44,
But
31.
and it costs more because we bought the system.
Yeah,
And what's your budgeted amount for that line then?
0.
Oh, it's,
dues and subscriptions will be 0.
okay,
Honest, and that 4431, as you can see, that switched over to that 6260
Yeah.
line, which increased. 6260 is basically, our nursing and guardian. But jail nursing's cost and guardian.
yeah.
And this few smaller expenses.
And that Guardian system, I know Tyler was talking, it's when the state says you have to every half hour look at people, you can't just walk by. So you have to walk and sell this little magnet thing, touch
Verify
it
that.
verifies you're actually there. So the state wanted us to do that, it's just safer that way, so,
That way you got proof we were there.
yes.
And like having the cameras at the shop.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's amazing what you gotta do nowadays.
yeah, nothing, Tyler did this one, nothing's changed a lot on it, we know we have some long-term prisoners down in Worthington, so that's up to a little bit on here, but otherwise, nothing else has changed a lot, so.
Have you had any issues with the state regarding jail as far as?
So, as long as we get them out of here in 90 days, that's, otherwise, it's last inspections done well, so.
You don't think they're gonna change the standards or anything?
I don't think so, because they're pretty, fight between the sheriff association and the jails, the corrections, there's kind of a lawsuits and stuff going on right now already, so I don't think there'll be a lot of changes right now. If anything, maybe for the better. Hopefully.
That 90-day limit on how long we can hold somebody here, that's a cumulative, right? That's not per arrest.
That's a person,
Right, but if they're a frequent visitor,
oh no, it starts over. for the-
oh, it does reset and send
Yeah,
again,
it's
okay,
just for that one,
that occurrence.
yeah,
This can't be more than 90 days straight.
right.
If they ended up with new charges for some reason while they're staying here,
Yeah, but reset.
90 days still stays.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
it's once they're out.
Because once they're out and
Right.
released, yep. Because sometimes they're in jail and they incur new criminal charges while they're in
They just
jail.
kick them out for a day and then bring.
Been discussed, I think some agencies have tried it, I don't think it's
Walk
worked.
outside.
Yeah.
And we've had some individuals you have rearrested the same day.
Yeah, it happens, certainly.
The jail numbers have been, yes, I don't know if it's a good thing or bad thing, have been down from a lot of years, which is, like I said, it's good or bad, but. So like jail mills, I should say a little bit there and stuff, so.
Where do you get the jail bills from?
Yeah. How bad did it affect your budget while cafeteria was closed down, how's it remodeling, that mess you up or
They
bad?
weren't closed down. We just had a different door.
Oh, okay,
Yeah, we still got food from.
okay.
Just the cafeteria lines.
Right.
Yeah, I know we still.
But I think even the food they were making, I think it wasn't their normal menu, I don't think.
Yeah.
You know,
The kitchen itself was operating, we were still.
Yeah.
Then we put in $10,000 for a vehicle because we need to do some updating to that jail car that's currently there now, so. So transmission issues. And it's gonna work until we can figure it out, you know, so. It doesn't, we have first time to use it for long distance transports anymore, we'll pay some more. Trading that in, and probably looking, trying to find something maybe even used, so. Dollars up there for that.
you talked about rotating, disposing of some of our older vehicles, and you strip those down before they're released and sold to the public.
Yeah.
Yeah, I read an article recently that now it's mandated.
Oh, they always have.
It always has been.
You know, let them go with the siren.
Easier. They might have to start in it, but they don't work.
Yeah.
And we're lucky we have Madison, that's a good job for us.
Yes, it is.
It's a lot of money.
Any other questions on the bail budget?
I guess like always with all our department heads, we appreciate your county interest in the development, but we realize it's your best and gallery.
Yes, we're
Uh,
trying.
but also your approach to it, your frugality is appreciated.
Yeah, thank you, try.
Where do we go next?
Or dispatch, right
Okay.
behind that.
Go to,
You have page number for that?
Yeah, we do.
we were not, we're,
Page number 65.
and I can fill in the zeros for you on this one too.
Oh, much easier for us to have page number.
Under part-time, 20. Under overtime, 30. And holiday pay, 35.
How about, for, start with printing and go down 4 lines.
Say printing's at 300.
Yeah.
Training and registration fees 500. Maintenance, repairs, equipment 1,000. Meals, lodging and expenses 3,000.
And the top 2 on the next page, office supplies and uniforms.
1,000. 3,800.
After our remodel last couple of years, this really hasn't changed a lot. It's just the salaries. Something's turned out.
Yeah, and your uniforms is separate for dispatch than for the rest of your people out there, by departments, you know.
Everything with the remodels been working well?
Yeah.
Good.
So. Took a while for them to get used to it, but I think they all like it much.
Do you have a different number on the final line then?
You're doing that,
Yes.
781630.
781630.
I see the revenue from the city of Pipestone instructed they could move to a different area.
Yeah, that was when they did the contract last year, that was the one goes into the regular sheriff.
Okay.
We didn't separate that anymore, so. And the part-time is a hit and miss right now. We have somebody over going to college that's been working full-time schedule, which really saves us. So, we may not have that next year, we don't know. It's been almost a lot. We have a couple, and actually one of them is just leaving, Duluth here, got a job in Duluth, so. The other ones got a year at school, so hopefully we can keep them around, so.
Yeah, it's kind of like having an intern, you know, just stick around. Okay, any questions more on this? You on the sheriff's budget? Starts on 58.
And then you fill in the 00 for run salaries overtime. 130. Holiday pay, 80. And part-time, that's still 0.
Okay, repeat those again, please.
Salaries, part-time would be 0. Overtime would be 130, and holiday pay would be 80. And then I know these probably have changed, police contracts, I have 210, 700 for the police contracts. And then the city of Pipestone was 1,031,832.
And the one above that was 210, you said?
210, 700. And I haven't sent the contracts out yet for the small cities, but I'm looking at 2%. For that.
What was the Pipestone one again?
1,031,832.
Correct. And then what was your 5504 contract number? I had 196,331.
210, 700.
Do you increase those for next year?
I did about 2%. I haven't done it yet, or haven't passed off with it. Yeah, bring it up to.
And the two above that are the same as last year?
3,000 to 10,000.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Keith, you mentioned city contracts, any updates on participation on those, or it's gonna be like last year?
I haven't heard nothing yet, but I'm sure it'll be like last year. But I guess I won't.
All but one.
Hold on. I assume, I don't know, I guess.
I don't know either, but. The insurance, I just had a question, I'm assuming the increase is just due to choices, you know, are more people taking family versus single, or?
I have no idea about insurance.
Sure. What
Charlotte for the, and the salaries and the insurance and the payroll, that's taken for her, so.
Okay.
On page 60 to 6303 maintenance repair vehicle. The 30,026, we've spent 36,000 already.
Yeah.
26.
That's why
at 30.
We should have got these 2 vehicles January, and I would guess next January when the sheriff will be here to get rid of 2 more of our ones that are causing us a lot of problems. So that should go back
So
up.
30 is okay.
It should be okay. We get rid of the 4 that causing us the most problems. Hopefully, but we're in some bad luck with vehicles.
And reviewers on there, who but that's why we're seeing all the Durangos running around right now, is because all the vehicles that are getting prepared right now.
Yeah. Our spare cars have been getting more miles on the regular cars.
Then on your 6333 meals and lodging for 13,000, you're already at 11 for the year. For training and all that, you go away, is that enough?
Majority of our training is done for the year. We will not have much to follow. But that helps. That's how we're judging that.
Okay.
We don't have a lot of training, much at all in the summer and in the fall. The majority of ours comes in the winter and spring. So we're projecting that.
Is there any training gonna be required for a new sheriff?
They will
Yeah.
typically go through.
They'll have a week in January, sometime a week training up at Minneapolis somewhere. All the sheriffs go to.
Through the Minnesota Sheriff's Association.
I don't know what that costs though.
Yeah.
But it's a good thing to go through. There's gonna be a lot of them this year.
Not getting any cheaper to stay in hotels anymore, either when we go for training, that's out of sight.
I did up our, next year, the vehicles up to 75 from 55. We got a couple more to trade in, we'll be a little closer, at least.
They don't seem to be going down for us.
Actually, these two this year or also last year.
We did pay less for the ones that he just proposed.
Yeah,
But because we paid in 25.
Yeah. But it's
Take a
a
lot
lot
of
of year.
Right,
It's the end, I think a lot of it was the rebates due to the vehicles sitting on the lot.
Right.
So we may have benefited a little bit that way, but as far as waiting. Yeah, the 27s were comparable vehicles as example in the Ram. The 27 was 7,000 more,
Plus, what you don't get a rebate.
right? If you would factor that rebate in there, that's $15,000, right?
That's a lot of difference. That's
So whether that rebate would still apply in 20, maybe that rebate would still apply in 27, you know?
Yeah, well,
yeah, enough of
I
that.
mean, at this point.
especially John and GMs, because they're new body style stuff.
Yeah, so that was pretty shocking for us when we pre-quoted things, we're like. In fact, actually asked both vendors back at a time, we're like, it's a typo or something. No, that's what it is, that's what it is, you know, but.
On page 61, uniforms, we're already at almost $30,000 for this year, you budgeted 25, is that enough?
This was, we looked at that and there was quite a few vests, over vests.
Oh, vests were in there.
And they that money should come back to us.
Yeah.
Oh, good.
So we talked about that. We think we'll be okay there.
I think what was it? I don't know if I wrote it.
4 or 5 vests, we got there's
5 vests and,
$6,000.
yeah, so I think that about 12,000 of that was the bulletproof vest this year. We're gonna about the same next year. But about 65% of that will get paid back through the Office of Justice Program grants. Through OJP. Problem is with that, if you remember in the past. Put in for the reimbursement, but we don't very seldom get it the same fiscal year. I'm lucky to get it the year following, and sometimes it's 2 years later. So it's hard to track it in our numbers.
And like,
It's coming back, it's just. With our funding zeroes out, we still stay on the list. They won't fund it until they get funded again. And it's just by. Priority of where you're at, so. In theory, it's been pretty consistent, we'll get the money, it's just. Hard to see it in these budget reports.
that would come back in the refunds for reimbursements. Anyway, back to that line, so.
Good.
How about our full payroll for the sheriff's office? How we do as far as full-time employees? Are you looking to maintain that number? Where's that?
Yeah, we're full staff right now. It's,
Yeah. And when we're at full staff, the number is good. You're not shorthanded. You're not overmanned.
we're definitely not overmanned. But I'd say we're pretty comfortable where we're at.
Cause there's always that economy of overtime versus another full-time employee where you're at with that, so.
The trouble with that is you have to give somebody a schedule.
Yeah.
So we can't just have somebody sitting home waiting for the shift that's overtime.
Right.
Can't do that. So it would help, but it's not gonna make that number go away.
But in any case, your manpower level right now is at a sweet spot for you.
I would say so, and they'll obviously have to hire a new one when I leave, but. Hopefully, I assume that, but
Because you're doing the work of two, is that what you're saying?
3, 4.
How many total employees is there in that department?
25 maybe, I don't know.
Including dispatch and everything else.
Yeah.
If you throw a part-timers in there, I think it's 31.
31 total people that come to work at the sheriff's department.
And we've had great part-timers, like Keith had mentioned earlier, yeah, the overtime looks like it's high, and it is, but we've saved a lot of money in overtime utilizing the part-time people. It's very helpful. Number would be quite significantly higher. And that's not because we're overloading the schedule, we're just. It's a loaded question to ask. Because I could stand here and say we could justify 4 more deputies.
That's right.
But the problem is with that, and we've discussed this several times, is that doesn't fix your overtime budget line because it may help a little bit, but it's not gonna help a lot.
Yeah.
Our bigger problem is getting people to backfill those hours that we have to fill.
Yeah.
They run it with minimums sometimes, I mean, we just are, but, our bigger concern's always been burnout. So it isn't like people are begging.
People used
for
to, when it started, you love to get overtime now.
They're just willing to help out their partners to make sure they're not working, or just they're stepping up as a group. We're fortunate to have that, and so that's been nice. Adding employees would probably help alleviate some of that. But it makes all the numbers bigger. So we've just balanced it, it's working, so we're doing what we can do.
And obviously, that's something that we can't govern, that's up to you guys to be able to know your department, how it's going, and use your good judgment to get that balance.
Well, a good example is working together. Last week, we had 3 people up at the fire and we had one down at Laverne at that incident. Last night, we had our dog over in Murray County open with a lost person. So we all try to help each other out too, that way.
And we get that reciprocated
Yeah.
back, we need it as well, and it works well, and if everyone's in the same situation, it's not unique to one county. And we're just making it work well, and we feel working well.
We all get along, the counties around here really well, so.
But a lot of it's working is because of the people that are working, that's what's making it work.
And the relationships.
Absolutely. So.
Our county has an election for sheriff too, hopefully this year.
Yeah. Every county has it, it's just some don't have anybody running against them.
Right. So is there, in Rock County, is there an incumbent?
Yes.
It is, there's.
Matt Sorensen.
Yeah.
He's had been there for about a year.
Appointed. It's an appointed.
Yeah, boy, is right.
Yeah.
He filled in, Evan retired. Now there's one of the deputies running against him.
Are there surrounding counties that there'll be a new one for sure?
Lincoln County, he's not running again, so that'll be Corey Sheik, he's a trooper,
Yeah.
from up there.
We know Corey, he's the commissioner.
Yeah, right, he's the only one running, so he'll obviously be that position.
Yeah.
Heath will still be in Murray County. And Ryan will still be in Nobles County, so. It's here in Lincoln and possibly Rock.
The other thing I had is on, just go down a little bit to 27645610. That should have a minus in front of it to indicate it's income instead of expense. So I'm looking at page 61. Halfway down, 27645610 statutory fine restricted.
Correct.
Yep,
Yeah.
just needed to have the. We'll fix that, we'll get that from Mary, she'll put that in there.
On page 58, the top, I guess the third line down, some grant from Minnesota Department of Natural Resources. They have this year, is that just a one-time thing?
That was, we get that about every year, but that's supposed to be moved to, we moved all that stuff to clean it up to refunds and reimbursements.
Okay.
So it should actually be. That's we get that, if we spend it on snowmobile or four-wheeler or
Oh, sure.
side by side, we get that money back, but it comes in, the same nights that it might be a year late too. But we get it back, but it takes a while sometimes. But that should have been under refunds and reimbursements, so that's why that was placed in there. Sometimes stuff comes right to the auditor's office and they just put it where they think, you know,
Right,
as long as it's in the budget.
good, probably check from DNR, so pick DNR.
Right.
Questions or concerns? No?
And there's a big, right now, this year was kind of some training and stuff. We got the body cameras going, that was quite a bit of extra training and some overtime. Now we're getting the CAD system, new CAD system. Actually, they're training today for 3 days, so there'll be some overtime and some stuff this year that we won't have going forward. So that's just, some of the numbers might look a little bigger for training and stuff, but we're doing 2 big projects this year. Actually, 2 things I wanted to get done before I left, so the next day I don't have to worry about it. So, when we go live with that,
October 9th.
we'll switch everything over from LAPG to Oracle. That's our plan, so. So you probably don't wanna be around here for a couple of days.
You have a new net number?
1470429. I'm sorry, that's revenue, I'm sorry. And that would be 1045015.
Page 63, there's a salary line that. For the last couple of years, the actual 0, but. There's been a budgeted amount, what is that for?
Do you have the account number?
Yeah, it's 2785-6101. On page 63.
$2765.61.
2785.
That was where we were taking emergency carry police. Restricted money. So.
Okay, yeah, what we're doing with that is we're taking some money out of our restricted gun permit money and paying one of the. Like Kelsey that's doing the work for it. So just transferring that money from the restricted money to our account. To help pay for all the gun permit stuff, which we're allowed to do by we have. I don't know, 10,000 in there every year, so we try to put some of that money to help pay for all the time they put into doing the gun permits.
So you're just not showing that it's getting spent.
Right.
It's kind of going back into the general, so.
I don't know how the office, I know every year we talk about it and they somehow move it for us, but
Sure.
so.
Makes sense.
And we just came up with that 6,000, that was a fair number, because they just spend a lot of time doing it.
Sure. Any other questions? Thank you.
282 is left, yeah.
The 901.
Okay.
Yes, 911.
$77.
And I just checked with Mary as of right now, even after all the remodeling we did, we still have a balance in there of 160,000.
Thanks.
And we get 174,000 a year, so we try to put everything we can in there legally. We work with the state with what we can do. And he's the sheriff in Worthington and Nobles County is in charge of this, so we work a little close with them. And if we can put it in there, we do, like this new CAD system, we can put that in there now, the other one we couldn't. So that's gonna save money out of
Do they have any big changes coming up that are being proposed?
After we've, now, you never know with legislation, never know. As of right now, no, you get updates about once a month from Sheriff's Association.
There's always discussions of reappropriating the funds.
Every year.
Yeah,
Everybody wants
trying
it.
to get in there to get them, but I think at the end of the day, when the dust settles, it makes sense that they're appropriating them appropriately now. Back to where they should be, so that number of what that appropriation was gonna be has changed, fluctuated, and it went to our favor about 5 years back. And doubled 4 years maybe.
Well, when it doubled, is half the money was always going to pay off the towers, the big state bill, and that paid off, so then they took all the money and started sending it out to the counties and stuff, so. That's when it doubled, so it really helped.
And then being able to kind of wide span of what can be spent, for from our side of things helped too. That opened up.
We can pay for like dispatchers going to training now, and nothing to do with radios, we can't do anything with radios. Vehicles and stuff, but
Or
salaries we can, but otherwise. They're trying to make it, a lot of counties, they're sitting there with a lot of money in this account, that never looks good either. So.
Yeah, but I mean, can people text and? For 911 or?
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, we've had it yet.
We've had a couple, but, most of them have been accidental. That's, we've had an actual incident unfolded. 911 emergency text message.
But you encourage the public to call if they can, and text if they can.
Right. I think get more information.
Yeah.
And they're always changing, they're doing something now, I don't know if it's in play yet, for the 7th story of the high rise, it'll tell us that, so it's location, actually tells.
Oh, it's actually
there,
there.
so it's always. Not always easy, because sometimes, but it's always getting better, you know.
I mean, like if somebody's using their cell phone and they're just in a rural location, it'll tell you they're at some field access or whatever.
Usually, and a few years ago, that was really bad, but now it's usually pretty close, pretty
Yeah.
good.
A couple years ago, it was in your edge of the tower, right? That's changed now, is that better?
It still does once in a while.
Still does
a
once
lot,
in a while.
It's gotten a lot better.
a lot better.
They would use the top tower and then triangulate to that long to find it, depending on the film that was there. But as an example, we have a ton of these, we call them 911, false 911 calls. And what's there been like 3 in the last,
Said 3 to 10 minutes yesterday.
but like 3 in the last 3 months where we've actually found the phone. Like went to the location and someone lost their phone because it called 911 because it had a crash detection. We went there, we found one was on a roadway one day, another one was in a pasture.
So that's
Yeah,
why I
use
just
their
getting,
actual phone.
that's
I mean,
all aspects, yeah.
That's way
That's
more
pretty
advanced
advanced.
than it's been in the past.
We had that one bad, and that rollover a couple weeks ago.
That was called in by.
That was called in by crash, and it was an actual crash.
Probably wouldn't have located that without that accident happening right away.
So is that pretty new? Because I've just been seeing that like this year.
I would say that it's probably technology in the last 2 years has gotten a lot. more refined.
But as you get into phone installs,
Yeah,
Yeah.
the new
I
phones.
think that changes a lot too, as people. It's kind of always been there, it just hasn't worked, it really seems to be working a lot better pretty soon.
Sometimes it's like, it seems like it's a pain, somebody dropped their phone, they're all running around looking for them. We got one measure to the next save them, so. That's what it's doing.
That like doesn't even like an Apple Watch, like we know a lady that fell with an Apple Watch on, I think that
Triggered.
her watch did 911.
It will, I understand it is a will, and it uses the connection of that. I don't know if the phone itself has GPS, but or the watch itself, but the phone is working through, or
Yeah,
whatever
through the-
device it's working through the
Yeah.
watch does. That's how I understand it.
And when my engine would have been hard to find, you could easily drive past that.
Oh, yeah, he's on the Barfield.
Because he ended up in the cornfield. That was a good thing.
So technology is good. Sometimes it makes a little extra work, but sometimes it's really worth it too.
Just a personal question, do you have somebody on duty at 3:45 in the morning or whatever time, or did somebody have to come?
Oh, no, we got somebody on 24 hours a day. Okay. Usually 2.
Usually two, well,
It's just getting so dangerous to be by yourself, you go estates, and And with the fentanyl and stuff, if somebody's testing and gets on, and you know, somebody with an Narcan there, you know,
I just wondered if somebody had to come out of bed for that, but.
they sure will if we do.
Well, yeah.
But, yeah, we always have somebody on.
Back to our earlier discussion about labor costs and overtime costs, that's what it's all about.
Yeah.
It's like staff in the emergency room, I guess.
Yeah.
Also, we have at the minimum, 3 people on 24 hours a day, every day. I mean, you have a jailer, you gotta have a dispatcher, you gotta have a deputy. So.
And they wonder why it costs a lot.
Yeah.
Not much is changing with this one.
No.
One line we are gonna change, I don't think changed in the report. Very, change that very key.
125. Yeah, good, yeah, we'll do.
Yeah, so.
6343 is at 125. We're probably, since the Motorola stuff is going in there, we'll have to bump that up to 150 at least. But we get more than that in, so we're still be plenty good.
What's your, final line then, for that?
That would be a negative 14,200.
Is that dispatch?
No, that's for 911.
Oh, 911.
So it's actually, we'll spend less than we get in on but we will. Now, if we add another 25,000 to it, then it'll be 10,000. You know, spend, but. Again, we tried to do conservative budget, we get a real budget. And like I said, I appreciate Mike spending, we spent a lot of time going through all the expenditures for the years, last few years, trying to make sure things are gonna be right. It's still a guess, but we did the best we could, so.
The E911 is changing,
The
59.2 for a net. Am I on the right one?
Yeah, 77, 78. The net would be minus 14.2.
yeah, no, if we add 25,000 to that other line, then it'll be 25,000, it'll be
Okay, what's the other
10,000
line, what's the other
plus.
line where the 25 is going?
275, 66343.
instead of 125, we're gonna change it to 150.
Seven, five, six, 343 rentals and service.
Correct.
So we have 80 there now, it's gonna go to what?
150,
150?
We're showing 125,000 there now.
yeah, we changed that,
Okay.
and
So that might be, yeah, your
Yeah.
that might be before.
Yeah, my printout says 80.
yeah,
It's gonna end at that 150.
And this is a restricted fund anyway, isn't it?
Correct.
Yeah, so it's not a levy fund,
No.
all right.
And then the net would be 10.8.
right. But the new computer system, both body cams, our cameras are pretty good shape, our tasers, we should be in pretty good shape for the next couple of years for base stuff. Hopefully.
We'll just be attacking these vehicles a little bit more aggressively. If like to, because we're just in a bad spot with the world, I don't know, excuse me, going. Just from a mechanical standpoint, accidents are on.
Where are we at with our K9 units, budget wise?
We have 2 yet,
Are they 18 out, or they?
one is getting further.
That's what I was wondering, so, and you accounted for that, or?
Well, we haven't gone for new ones for budget yet, but because we're not at that point yet, but it could be Dustin's is getting up there in age, so it's up to him when he has to call it.
And is that a situation where you can designate funds for previous years and build up an account balance for K9 unit, or do you have to do in the year that you actually get it?
I think we get donations for that.
Well, we've used other restricted fund money,
Like
before,
drug-
like
drug
forfeiture
forfeiture
money.
stuff.
Sure, past.
So it doesn't impact, so it doesn't impact the
I
levy.
mean,
Yeah.
we certainly could be building that fund, but there's not an indication in 2027 that is gonna happen, but I mean, you never know until you injured or anything, sure that that's gonna be replaced.
And then you gotta have somebody that wanna replace it
So
too.
we gotta have a handler that
Right.
actually,
Yeah.
whether that's the same handler that was already there or
Yeah.
handler. So it's a tough, it's a burnout position having a canine.
Always helps.
A lot of time.
And when you do your mutual aid to other counties, and we bill for that canine. Oh, you don't, that's just gratis.
Help each other out. We could, I suppose, but we never.
Yeah. Well, and if you did, that was my question, well, what account do you put that, when you bill,
Right.
what account do you put it in, it's just, and it's not like it happens monthly.
No, and when we had that deal measured in County, Rock County was up helping us, so I
Yeah.
just help each other.
It comes out of the wash.
Any other questions?
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
You know, the process has started, hasn't it?
Yes, it's.
They put together this free reminder for us. You're welcome. Charlotte, I'm sure was involved too, but very, very nice.
Their business, mileage rate change.
Chairman Johnson brought it to my attention that the IRS has made a mid-year change in the standard mileage rate due to higher fuel prices. I took this information right off of the IRS website, so it's they're looking at the same thing. So effective July 1st through the end of the year, going up from 72.5 to 76 for the rest of the year.
Is our policy written specific to the penny amount per gallon, or is it just says to mirror the IRS rate?
To mirror the IRS
Yeah,
rate.
so we don't even really have to take action on this.
Yeah, we would. You do that your first meeting of the year, and
Yeah.
you set the mileage rate.
Yeah.
So we should do a motion on that to approve this if you wish.
I'll make a motion to set the mileage rate comparable to the IRS at 76 cents.
Yep, and I'll say.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor? Both carries. 22 commissioners to the canvassing board.
Yes, the two commissioners for the canvassing board coming up for
What date is that?
primary.
Probably be a couple days after the election, or maybe 3 days after the election.
August 11th. I don't have the exact date right on top of my head here.
But it usually follows the election within a couple days, usually historically.
I guess it's probably, I think it's been on generally a Thursday. It'll be like Thursday the 13th, I believe.
As an outgoing commissioner, am I eligible? If so, I'd be willing to serve that
I
capacity.
think so, because you're not on the ballot.
Right, yeah, so. If you'd like, I would take one of those slots.
You wanna do it, you got.
What dates are we thinking here?
Shortly after the election. or
Probably
the primary.
13, maybe.
And will this be for the general election in November as well, too, or just?
No, it's the primary.
Just the primary, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's it.
Okay.
But man, Amanda, let's just.
No,
What line is, yeah.
There'll be other people.
Sure. Did some training for that.
Yeah, I don't know what would be an issue with you guys being on there, so.
Especially for.
Double check with Amanda, so.
Yeah.
We need action on that.
Yeah, that'd be great.
I'll move to my Commissioner Wolfman, but hey, give some.
I'll support that.
Okay. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor? Opposed, carries. And we have the data practices policy. There's no update other than time change.
Correct, yeah, no real changes with that, but needs to be updated a little bit on here, so.
It's just something we do every year just because.
Something we do every year just because.
How much was this to their, first meeting of the year then?
Yeah.
That could be part of the motion.
Well, I'll move to approve the data practices policy.
Okay.
Second. With the second, any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor? Aye. Opposed, motion carries. Anything else to be brought up today?
No, Mr. Chairman?
Well, our hospital meeting this afternoon and
Let you know, I will be gone on vacation starting on Friday, this Friday, and I will be back on the 8th of August. So, I'm going to Canada. Try to find some big fish, I guess.
Take your mask along.
Yes.
Yeah.
Fired up.
Yeah,
Accident.
I'll get fired up, so I will be gone, so I'll have Charlotte help me with the board packet with the 11th.
I don't get stuck somewhere where you're in the fire.
No.
Sounds like we're quite a few going.
Going to Dark at Winnipeg,
Oh.
and my passport is up to date.
Just the note for the power on Midwest stuff, they changed the route. So go back to the St. Louis again. I had a lot of people ask me after the fact, you know, go to the meeting. So I could tell them to go to this one.
When is the next one?
It's coming up.
Did they list the route they're planning now?
Yeah.
You know, that reminds me about passports. How you, can you pay with credit card or how's that?
I'll check,
You use a check.
yeah, checks.
Mine's due, getting due.
August 4, St. Leo's Catholic Church, 4 to 6. They have a new line.
I'm just-
Will it still be run through Pipestone County?
Well, gotta come through.
And there's some opposition to it.
Yes, there is.
Yeah,
They talked a little bit about it yesterday at their RNAB meeting about going to interstate across, it's longer and the feds are kicking about having lines on both sides of the interstate. They don't want that. So.
Oh, another thing on August 4th, if anyone's interested at Farm Fest, that'll be the day that the governor and congressional candidates speak.
City governors.
The people running for governor and people running for US Senate. Will be, I don't know if it'll be a debate or just. I know last time when I went, it was a debate format with the governor and Jensen. And so it'll be interesting if that's like format they have again, just because, of course, there's a whole rash of candidates. Yeah, if they were all up there, that'd be very something for the press. But it's worth checking out if you're able.
I was working.
That's at Farm Fest on August 4th. I think they start about 10 in the morning. But since we don't get much Minnesota news around here, probably the only chance to get to find out who's all there and what they've got to say, and just what to see them in person.
Redwood Falls.
It's at Gilfil in the state. It's kind of by Morgan, between Redwood and Morgan.
Oh, okay.
same place Farm Fest is every year, but it's just a large rural side, you know. If you go at 8 o'clock in the morning, they got a free breakfast, I think, for there's so many people. Cool. It's a huge event, it's. It's. Big, but it seems like it's a. You know, maybe half mile each way or. It's pretty big. Well, if there's nothing else, I guess. Okay, all in favor? Opposed, motion carries.
You want
Just,
yeah,
right, where are we doing the picture, right here?
you wanna go outside, you said?
Go outside. What do you think?
Is that here?
We did it last one. Like, open the doors in.
There we go.
Say-
Say Luke.